Oh, shoot. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm not used to being on here so early unless we're talking about some World Cup, some FA Cup, or some of those wonderful stuff. But obviously, happy to be back. There is NBA playoff basketball, most exciting time. With me, obviously, I'm your host, The Voice, and with me we have Cream. We'll be joined by VJ, Devin, and Miguel in a few. But all one Cream, you're worried over there?
Not at all, not at all, man. Excited for some real basketball, to start playing now. Best time I
All right.
season.
All right, so before we dive into the whole playoff vibe, I want us to talk about the play in a little bit.
Mhm.
Because your Brooklyn Nets, they went up against Cleveland.
Yeah.
And they dispatched Cleveland. Kyrie made his first 12 shots, ended up with, I believe it was 13 for 15 or 12 for 15, something like that.
Yep.
But he was sensational. But when he came out the game, Cleveland started to make a run in the fourth quarter. KD had to hit down some big shots. So I just wanted to tell me what did you think about the game itself, and also what chance do you give the Nets to make any noise in the playoffs?
The playing game against Cleveland was a good test.
Mm-hmm.
To in terms of it was played with playoff in intensity, a playoff atmosphere type of game. So it was good to see Kyrie and KD start off scorching hot.
Absolutely.
40 points after one quarter. That's tremendous offense. Also, KD on the defensive end with two block shots.
Mm-hmm.
Claxton at five. So there was some good rim protection there. The third quarter, they kind of eased up. The second and third quarter, they kind of relinquished the intensity on the defensive end, letting back
Mm-hmm.
Cavs into the game. So that's always a worry, and that kind of happened when the second unit came in. The offense sputtered, so that's a sore point. Which I don't know. They have to figure out how to probably stagger KD and Kyrie with the bench unit so they can get more production upon the offensive end. And also,
Absolutely.
yep. So the in terms of making noise, I'm all in on the Brooklyn Nets. All my chips are in on on the Brooklyn Nets. So I think the first one here against Boston gonna be a long series. I see it going 7 games, and
Mm-hmm.
KD and Kyrie's experience will pull it out in Boston. And then up next would be Milwaukee. So I need a tough round of opponents. My hope is that by that time around, Ben Simmons would be further along in his return to
Absolutely.
to basketball, so he will be another asset to go up against Milwaukee. So I'm all in, man, all in on the Brooklyn Nets. Let's see how far. I am fully aware they can go as far as the final, but they can also lose this match in the first round and be
Absolutely.
out of it. So I'm all in.
Absolutely. All right, so let us take a look at Minnesota and the Clippers.
Mm,
Carl Anthony Towns didn't have a particularly good game. He started out 0 for 7. I think he finished with 3 for 11 or 3 for something like that. Some
mhm.
pedestrian numbers, and but they end up pulling out the victory.
Yeah,
Um,
and
what do you think
and
about that
and
game?
and that boy is a real deal, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know Lamelo is my boy already, but we saw in a big game where Lamelo didn't turn up, but a big game and turned up and dropped 30 piece on them boys head, man. The
Absolutely.
youth is a killer. He's not scared. He showed that he's not scared after the moment and the bright lights.
Not at all.
He showed up and he absolutely delivered in spite of Cat having a horrible game. He was Cat. I think was just trying to do too much. He
Mm-hmm.
was just trying too hard to do too much and needed to just relax and let the game come to him. He was forcing it.
Even when they double team, even when they were double team, triple team, it was still trying to force up shots. And
Yeah,
and I think that's a part of his game that I think needs to be matured. You don't always have to be scoring because you have D'Angelo Russell on the team. You have Ant-Man on the team, So you have
yeah,
other players who can score the basketball as well. So when you start distributing those guys, it free up the double team off you, then you can get your points. But I think he was forcing all night, and luckily they got out.
yeah.
And then so let us go on to the Pelicans and the Clippers now.
Pelicans and the Clippers. Yeah. I knew it was very unfortunate that Paul George ended up in health and safety protocols. I knew once that happened, I didn't see them beating the Pelicans, even though throughout the seasons they have beaten teams without George and without Kawhi there, but I just didn't see them beating the Pelicans without George this time around, and that's what happened. Came to fruition. Pelicans were down 10 at the start of the fourth quarter, and they came back and overturned that. So it was a very good the season for the Clippers. I don't even know if you would say disappointing because they pretty much didn't have Paul George and Kawhi for majority of the season, so they managed to
But but then, Cream, we can also say that the squad that they have, along with the championship coach, they should be able to make the playoffs with that team.
um,
Norman Powell, Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, all of these guys out there. I mean, certainly you would need, a star player in order to propel you in the playoffs.
yeah,
But
yeah,
just to make the playoffs, beat the Pelicans team with CJ McCollum playing absolutely probably his worst game as a pro, and then Brandon Ingram, doing his thing. I think even without Paul George, I think the Clippers, talent-wise, was better than the Pelicans yesterday.
yeah, and you could say yeah, yesterday they had the better coach as well. So they they could have or should have beaten the Pelicans, but I was just like I just didn't think it would happen. I just thought the Pelicans would have won.
All right, and the last playing game, the Hawks and the Cavs. Really and truly disappointed in the Cavs.
Yeah,
Listen, in the first half, I see Trae Young 9 points, 3 for 13, and I'm saying yes. Cavs locking him down, strap him up. I turn off the TV, I turn it on back. I see the Hawks leading. I see Trae Young went on a tear. Nobody could stop him. While Garland, he wasn't good. 21 points on 26 shots, 9 for 26, just wasn't effective, and ultimately, cost Cleveland the game.
yeah. I was back in Cleveland to win that game as well, but didn't materialize. Trey Young in the second half was absolutely sensational, hitting shots from everywhere and assisting, and pretty much every every basket the team made, he had a input on it. So Trey Young loved playing this role of going into people building and in crucial games, and just ripping ripping their hearts out. And he did
Yeah.
it again. He did it again, man. Trey Young is absolutely the real deal.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so now we're going to look forward to today's game, tomorrow's game, and the series. So now we're going to give our series predictions. We're going to say who we think is going to win today's game and tomorrow's game, and then we'll take it from there. So the first game would be the Dallas Mavericks hosting the Utah Jazz, and as for the viewers who don't know, Luca is out for game one for sure. So he's not playing in game one. Um, and Utah is fully healthy. So
Hmm.
Cream, who do you have winning this game, game one, and who do you have winning the series?
This one I'm gonna go with Utah. The series all depends on Luca's availability. Like how soon will he be able to come back and help them? Because without them, I'd probably give them one game, but I don't see it being a long series if Luca is not playing. The Utah Jazz is really strong right now, and everyone is fully healthy. Go Bear is there protecting the rim. You got Mitchell doing a thing. Um, Conley. So they have a really off the bench. You have what's his name again? That guy there off the bench. So
Oh, Clarkson.
Clarkson, yes. So
Mhm.
they have a really good squad, and I think it's gonna be too much for Dallas without Luca. If Luca is present, then I'll take Dallas to advance.
Funny enough, listen, I saw a stat, and I think VJ was the one who actually sent it to me, that
Mhm.
Donovan Mitchell has averaged 2 passes per game to Rudy Gobert. Not assists, passes. So clearly there is some dysfunction between guard and center. And I think from the whole COVID situation,
Mhm.
when Rudy Gobert went and touched up the audio phone and so, I think from that point in time, they have had a really tough going, between them. And I don't think the relationship have materialized into really and truly what it should have been. So I think that will hinder them. And also the fact that, man, it's Utah, man. I'm tired of giving Utah props and then they fail me. They don't deliver. They were up 3-1 against Denver, end up losing that series. They were up against the Clippers, end up losing that series. There comes a point in time where I stop believing in you and just believe the actions. So I'm going to believe the actions, and I'm going to put the Dallas Mavericks to win with or without Luca.
Oh
Without
wow!
Luca,
Oh
without
wow!
Luca, I'm giving Dallas in 7. With Luca, I'm giving Dallas in 5.
Oh
I
wow!
just think Dallas is a better team. I think
Okay.
Spencer Dinwiddie, I think Jalen Brunson. I think that Dallas defense that is much improved, under Jason Kidd. And I just don't think I think Utah, they
Well,
take a lot of bad shots, they force some stuff. Nah, I don't really like them.
I'll say this: if Utah is not able to get past this team without Luca probably missing 2 or 3 games, then that's really bad, and probably that franchise need to look at blowing it up or trading or something, because obviously something is not working if they are not able to get past this Dallas team. If Luca is not available for like 2 or 3 games.
Also, remember, Quinn Snyder, the Utah coach, has been linked with the Lakers,
Yeah.
and it has been said that Donovan won't sign an extension with the Jazz. So it look like they're just going to blow it up because I think they've had more than enough time. I think last season was a great enough season, great opportunity. No Kawhi in the second round, and they still couldn't beat the Clippers.
I've
They
saw
were up on them, huh?
I've seen some news where mentions were made of possible trade destinations for Go Beer, one being Golden State and one being Brooklyn. So not sure
Yeah.
how that will really materialize or work out.
And I know when you hear Brooklyn, you're supposed to happy.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that fit. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, yeah, we'll find a way. Yeah, we'll find a way to make it work. To make it work. All right. So I'm going with Utah to win
Mhm.
tonight.
Okay.
Of course, I think they'll win tonight. But as I said, in 5 or in 7, Luka comes back for game 2. I don't think Utah wins another game. All right. So the next game, it will be the Grizzlies
Oh,
versus the Timberwolves.
goals. Yeah, this
And
series, this one is gonna be a firecracker of a series. Two young stars, upstarts, like at the top of their games currently. So it's gonna be a really exciting series to see and Ja go at it, man. So I'm looking forward to that series. I'm gonna give the edge to Memphis. I feel they have a deeper team and a better team. So with
mm,
that, I'm gonna give them the edge, and I'm gonna say they progress in in six, in six.
let's see. All right. So you have Grizzlies to win tonight and them to win the series in 6.
Yes.
All right. For me, I think about it a little bit different. I don't think the Timberwolves is a good team. I think they're okay. I think 7 seed is just about their ceiling. Um, I've seen Memphis without Ja, with Ja, and they have been exceptional both times. They're 20-3 without Ja.
Hmm.
Listen, they're top 5 defense, top 5 offense,
Yep.
number one fast break, number 1 second chance points, top 5 in free throws. This team, and then they are all healthy. Dylan Brooks, Ja is back, Jarrett Jackson. They have all the weapons. right? They can throw anybody at a Edwards, at a D'Angelo Russell, at a Karl Anthony Towns. On the other side, when I'm looking at it, boss, when I'm looking at it at the other side, I don't see the Timberwolves being able to stop the Memphis offense. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, while their defense have been improved steadily, it's not where it's supposed to be for a team. Remember, Memphis right now, I believe they have championship aspirations. I don't think the Timberwolves have championship aspirations. I think the Timberwolves are just happy to be there. VJ picked them for the 7th seed, actually. So, listen, I'm going with, and I'm not going to disrespect the Timberwolves, so I'll give them one game. One big game. I would have gone for a sweep, but I'm giving them one game. That would be game 4, and then they close it out back in Memphis. So I'm going Memphis to win tonight, and I'm going 4-1.
Okay.
Well, on VJ.
What's up?
We're talking about your team, boss. Your Minnesota Timberwolves, your dark horse team. So I want to know who you think is going to win tonight, and who you think is going to win the series.
I mean, is it really that well? I wouldn't say there's not a chance, but Grizzlies supposed to win handily. As I say, I would only give them one game. I mean, 2 if they're lucky, but I wouldn't be shocked at a sweep either.
Yeah.
As I said, they're just glad to be in the playoffs. It's been a long drought for them. So I don't really give them much chance, but I look forward to watching Anthony Edwards, one of my favorite young players coming up. So, and then you have John Morant, which is a fan favorite. So it should be a fun series, but it should end quickly all the same.
What I will say though is it's gonna be interesting to see this Grizzly team in a playoff series now, where coaches can scheme, and when time coaches know what you're going to do and set your defense for you to see how they navigate that. Because
Oh no, I was wondering if you never see them in a playoff series last season, but I forget the Lakers whopped them.
yeah,
Lakers kicked them out.
Because to see how they react to that when time pretty much teams know your tendencies, know your plays, know what you're gonna do, to see how they react in that scenario.
Yeah, but it's a cream. If it was a Golden State, a Phoenix, then I'll be like, all right. But this is the Timberwolves, bro.
Yeah.
How much can the Timberwolves really game plan for a Memphis team? I'm telling you, Memphis have weapons everywhere. The Desmond Baines of the world, Dylan Brooks, Jarrett Jackson, even Steven Adams seem like he come alive right now, grabbing those offensive rebounds, those putbacks. Everybody they seem to be playing with a particular swagger in Memphis. And obviously, they follow their leader.
Yeah.
And, they seem like they don't fear anybody. Some teams, you look at them and be like, this team a little bit scared. I don't see Memphis being that team, especially against the Timberwolves. So the next game now, I believe it's a big one. Everybody is looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
It's at 6 p.m. And it will be the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Toronto Raptors. 4th seed versus 5th seed. VJ, who we have winning this one?
Go Raptors.
Tonight, we have winning tonight, and who we have winning the series?
I feel like this might be one of the hardest series to predict for the first round, because Harden hasn't been playing well at all. Raptors are shown to do well defending Embiid. They have a defensive scheme against Embiid that seems to work. Raptors is known to always lose their first game. I don't know why, but it was usually their first game at home. So now they're away, but they're usually known to lose their first game. So I would put it on Philly to win tonight, but I attempted to say Raptors will win the series. I'm tempted to say Raptors will win the series.
Stick your chest out and say it, man.
Van Vliet is back, right?
Yep. Everybody
back already.
Yep.
I attempted to say Raptors will win it, and the main reason being is that Harden hasn't looked like Harden. If Harden looked like Harden, then I would say Philly. But just because of that, relying all the offense on Embiid is going to be difficult, and I can't trust Maxey yet because he's streaky. Sometimes he'll look good for 3 games, and then the next 3 games him averaging 12 points. So I'll give it to the Raptors in, I'll say 6 because I don't think they're going to beat a game 7 at Philly. So it has to be in 6 games.
All right. Cream.
Yeah, same. I would say Raptors in 6 as well, and for the mere fact that I know that in key moments in pivotal games, Harden is not gonna be there. He's not gonna show up. I can bank on that. Embiid is gonna be there and give you his 30 and 10. He's gonna get his. And like I said, VJ, we don't Maxi may come and go. Tobias Harris is the same thing. They lose their one of their better wing defenders in Toronto games. He won't be able to play. So and the Raptors is fully healthy. Nick Nurse for me is a better coach than Doc Rivers. So with all that being said, I'm going with Toronto Raptors in 6.
In 6. What I say about Doc Rivers, after all these failures, you would think that this man learned something. But the man keep on doing the same thing over and over. Anyway, so for me, obviously, Philly is my pick from morning.
Yep.
Can't jump off the wagon now. I believe that Philly will win. I have Philly in 5. I think Philly will win tonight. Listen, James Harden come out and he said there's absolutely no pressure on him. But listen, we know better than that. But again, that is what he must say. He must come out and say, "Hey, there's no pressure on me, guys. It's all right." But there's the amount of pressure on him right now is probably the most in the NBA. He can't go out in the first round. Between him and Doc Rivers, even Daryl Morey, between those 3 of them,
Hit
pressure 33%, 33%, 33%. They have to split it all around because listen, Daryl Morey went and said, okay, let me send away Seth Curry, let me send away the picks, let me send away Andre Drummond, let me get in James Harden because I believe that he and Embiid can get the job done. And if you cannot beat this Toronto side who don't have no go-to scorer, they do it as a team. Obviously, the last time I said Siakam tried to be the scorer last season, it never really worked out for him. He was bricking. So, but I think Gary Trent Jr., I think that trade was huge. That man is averaging 18 points per game. Fred VanVleet, of course. Then you have Anunoby, however you pronounce his name.
Those guys are long, they clog the keys hands everywhere, so it's not easy.
Yep, and I saw an interview with Embiid when Embiid was saying, hey, when every time I play Toronto, they always double team me, triple team me, and I have to give it up on them, other person's not making shots. I think the key factor in this series will probably be Tobias Harris. That guy have to show up. Right now, that guy not playing like a $30 million player. He's playing like a big scrub right now. So he has to show up, has to pick his spots, has to be aggressive. And as you say, Ty Bull, he can play in Toronto, not vaccinated. So
actually, he's partially. He only got the first shot.
Well, it needs to get the second one ASAP because they're going to need every bit of defense from him. But I'm going with Philly in 5. And I think the games will be close. I don't think there'll be no blowouts. And I think Doc Rivers will blow a game or 2 for sure. Make some stupid substitution, keep somebody on the bench way too long when the other team making a run, and say, "Oh, they'll stop the bleeding." So, but I'm going with Philly in 5. Okay. I think the MVP of the league will show up and show out. So I got Philly in 5.
Oh, we're talking about the Nuggets?
No, boss. Jokic's not winning that MVP, boss.
Oh, no, yeah, to the MVP of the league. So I thought you started to switch to the Nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So the next game we have Golden State versus the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, Steph Curry will be back this game. He will be on a minutes restriction, however. So I'm expecting him to play around 30, 35 minutes probably. Cream, who you like for this one? For tonight and the series?
Golden State. Once they have Curry and Clay seems to be rounding into form at the right time. Jordan Poole coming off the bench to lead the second unit. I think they are going to be too much for Denver to handle right now. So picking Golden State to win tonight, and for the series, I'd say Golden State in 6.
Golden State in 6. VJ.
Tonight hard to predict because we don't know what Curry going to look like. First game back in a month or so.
Yeah.
So it all depends on how he looks. But so I think tonight can go either way. J-Man has shown that Jokic has always given him problems when he tries in the games they've played in the past. But I have Warriors as my favorite still coming out of the West if Curry's 100%. So I think Warriors would win the series, and I would say, I'll say probably I wouldn't be shocked in 5. It would be close games, but I think just their championship experience all around that squad and the shooting would just be too much to overcome for a Nuggets team that they don't have any other player that average over 15 points a game apart from Jokic. They won't be able to keep up with that offense. And the Nuggets doesn't have like a top 5 defense to even say to slow down the Warriors offense. So I give it to the Warriors in 5.
For me, I'm going a little bit different. This will be my upset series. I'm actually going for Denver to win tonight, and I'm going for Denver in 7. I know MPG is not coming back for the year, but there is still a little bit of hope that Jamal Murray can come back.
Really?
There's a slight tinsy bit of hope. The same hope that it was that Clay was going to come back last season. Tinsy.
So if Jamal Murray doesn't come back, you still have the Nuggets in 7?
Yeah, I still have them in 7. Why? Because, I believe they'll win tonight. I think they'll put some pressure on the Warriors. And I think the game plan that they will come up with, I think they're going to force other persons to beat them. And I don't think Clay is that competent right now. I know him score big when Curry is not there, but I just don't think he is Clay. I think you'll probably see that Clay next season. And, with Jordan Poole, I think his offensive growth will be stunted because Clay's in the lineup. So you can't have Clay and Poole and Curry and expect all 3 for the fireworks. So when I look at that, and Draymond, I think Draymond's a liability. Obviously, his defense is all right, but he can't guard Jokic. You won't be able to guard Jokic. You won't be able to stop him. Too small, and it's going to be work all day, crazy work all day, every day. And I'm going Nuggets in 7. And I don't even like the Nuggets, but I think this matchup is a bad matchup for the Warriors, and I think it'll be Nuggets in 7.
Okay.
And Roger saying no surprises there. Why is there no surprises, boss? I'm not being biased. I'm being objective as ever. I'm being very objective today. So now tomorrow at 1 p.m.
The Eastern side.
Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks. VJ, who we have winning that game and who we have winning the series?
Boy, it's sad that Capella got, I don't know how long he's going to be out. He was supposed to do an MRI today. And then John Collins is still out. When is he coming back? Is he even coming back for the season?
Nope.
Oh Lord.
Unless they make it to the finals, which we know that's probably not happening.
I would say I think he's going to win the first game, but I think Hawks can pull out that series especially if Capella comes back by say a game 3.
VJ, could be serious now, man. That could be serious. Hawks can win that series, brother. What are you saying?
No,
that's the problem.
Let the man present the case, VJ.
Listen, over the past, since the beginning of February, Atlanta Hawks have been one of the best teams statistically, winning games and all that. So you can't look on, before February. Yeah, they were playing terrible. They had awful defense, but they had improved a lot over the past 2 months of playing. And the Heat, they don't really have a person they can go to say get them offense. Their whole offense depends on Tyler Hero. And if I'm going to bet on Tyler Hero or Trae Young, I know who I'm going with already. As I say, it's going to be very difficult if they don't have Capella, and if Capella doesn't play the series at all, then I would definitely say the Heat should beat them. But if Capella comes back and is 100%, I could give the Hawks. I can see the Hawks taking that series. That's my upset series, like you are with the Nuggets.
I wasn't even aware that Bam was in health and safety protocols that he just came out of.
Oh, I didn't even know that either.
So I guess he'll be available tonight. But I'm going with Miami to win tonight and to win this series. Probably in 6 again. I'll give the Hawks two games. I think Miami right now, with everybody being healthy and available, I think they will have more production out of their players than what the Hawks is gonna get, especially if Capella is not there. So I think definitely with Bam and Jimmy and Hero and those guys, I think PJ Tucker, a defensive stalwart that he is. So I'm rolling with Miami to advance in 6.
Listen. The Hawks will be lucky, just like the Timberwolves. The Hawks will be lucky to win a game this series. So lucky. Listen, Miami. All right. So to respond to flipping Vinny in the comments that say Nuggets can win in 7. Vinny, you're going to get a warm surprise at your Bug Warriors, right? But listen, Miami is the number 1 3-point shooting team in the NBA. Miami is the number 1 bench scoring team in the NBA. Tyler Hero, he will obviously win 6th man of the year. There is absolutely no, and them say never say never, but no possible way the Hawks can win this series. The Hawks winning 1 game is them winning the series. They're celebrating 1 game because they're just not good enough. Listen, VJ, defensively, the Hawks are terrible. So you're saying that Miami don't have a go-to scorer? They don't need a go-to scorer because they can score. Anybody can score anytime, at will. Listen, yes, they said no Bam. They can put Udonis Haslem in there and still beat the Hawks. That's how bad the Hawks is. I would be more fearful for Miami if they went up against Cleveland than the Hawks. Because I think as a matchup, I think Cleveland is a more terrible matchup for Miami. The Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, Garlands of the world. I think there's more matchup here. And when you look at the Hawks, it's only really Trae Young.
Let me stop you there. You present the argument and I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to change my mind now. I'm not really thinking about it. As I didn't really give it much thought, that series, since Hawks just went through for the play. But you're right, because as I say, Heat's defense has shown to be good all year round. And if they're going, Trae Young is really their main offensive weapon without John Collins, and then with Capella out as well. You're right. It's going to be hard for them to really win that series.
You have Bogdanovic as well.
But I do believe that the Hawks would have won if we had a fully healthy squad. But as you mentioned, showing the points and stuff, I agree. The Heat should win that series.
Yeah, as Chris Lynch in the comments saying, Heat's with the sweep. Like, it really and truly should be a sweep, but I don't like disrespecting stars. So I think Trae Young will try to find a way to score a 40-point game, 45-point game.
I think he'll win 2. I think he'll win two games in Atlanta.
Good luck. I know. Going back to Atlanta, he's down 2-0. So good luck. Devin, I see like you just wake up, boss.
Yes, brother. I tell my son never remember, man. I don't know the thing already. My son never remember this time. Because when him know somebody use the phone now, and he want to go on the phone, so nobody wake me up today. Yeah. But
all right, listen. So we have winning this game today.
For this
series, is actually tomorrow.
All right, for the Hawks and the Miami.
Yeah.
I have not much to say. I agree with you. I just have one thing.
Yeah.
Let's show you the broom, boss. I have the broom here now. Just that.
Well,
the broom for Miami. Just that. And if it don't happen, just like with on TNT with them guys, And if you don't, I'm gonna break this broom. If they don't get swept, next of the podcast, I'll just break this broom like how Shaq break the broom when Charles Barkley made a prediction for a sweep and it didn't go that way. Yeah, it and popular out, just all what you're saying. Those guys out and they hit with injuries. Cleveland would have been a better.
Yeah,
matchup.
I definitely think Cleveland would have been a harder matchup. But
yeah, and then because Jarrett Allen would have come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jarrett Allen would have returned. So yeah, man, they're getting. I have 3 series for the sweep. 3 series for the sweep. This is one of them.
Wow.
All right, which other series you have for sweep?
Yeah, you see Chicago. See, things will be close. That room. Man, we can take out the room for them too, man. and as much as me like Brandon Ingram from Lakers, they can get out the room for them too.
All right, so
those are my 3 sweeps.
Those are your 3 sweeps. All right, so let's move on to the next game. I think this one going to be a cracker, and I'll start with you, VJ. Your Boston Celtics tomorrow 3:30 versus these 2 guys, Brooklyn Nets. I am on the Boston wagon for this one. But VJ, who do you have winning this game? And the series?
Not tonight, Sunday.
Yeah.
I have Celtics winning that game. I won't argue with anyone that picking the Nets because I think the series can go anyway. But I have the Celtics winning. They have shown from January they have been one of the best teams on both the offensive end and the defensive end. The Nets have been, well, quote unquote injured or whatever, missing, a certain player. So we don't really see them at their full capacity throughout the regular season. So it's hard to predict how they're going to perform. But I think the Celtics can match up with them offensively because after KD and Kyrie, they don't really have any other offensive player. While, the Celtics from 1 to 5, 1 to 6 can contribute on the offensive end. And then when you talk about the defense now, no one is going to stop KD, but they're going to their defense is going to play a big factor. And I think if Robert Williams was in the series, I would have easily said Celtics in 5. But I would say due to that Robert Williams missing, I'll put Celtics at 6, possibly 7.
All right. And Chris Lynch is saying Hawks, Bulls, and Pelicans will be lucky if they win a quarter. So this man is not giving these teams any kind of hope. Listen.
That's
all right, so VJ, you say you have Celtics in 6 or 7. All right. How about you, Cream?
Yep.
We are winning that game tomorrow and the series.
All right, we're rolling to Boston tomorrow, and we're gonna take game 1. So Nets winning the first game, and Nets winning the series in 7. I think because in that series, first of all, we have the 2 best players on the floor in KD and Kyrie. Defensively, it's gonna be a challenge for us as always, but I feel that we will do just enough to stave off any late Boston charge that may come our way. Expect Drummond to be very impactful on the glass. Claxton also with the rim protection, he's our best switch defender on the perimeter. So in matchups where he's gonna be on the perimeter against Tatum or Brown, he's nimble enough to be able to move his feet. So we won't be closing with Drummond because we haven't been. So it will be Nick Claxton in there for his switch defense. So I think definitely I'm rolling in with the Brooklyn Nets. It's gonna be a tough series. I don't see any blowout victories or big margin of victories. It's gonna be a possession or 2. And in close games we have a better record than Boston in terms of finishing close games, and we have 2 closers on our side. So all of these things, I'm rolling with Brooklyn to win the series in 7.
Okay. All right. Brooklyn in 7, Boston in 6 or 7. Devin, what say you?
All right, Brooklyn in 7. Brooklyn in 7, definitely. You can't go against Brooklyn. All right. There's one thing, Brooklyn, all right? Earlier on, when Steve Nash was like, I don't know what he was doing with these rotation of the players. There's this guy, he's chatting about Bruce Brown, right? was complaining for time. So I chatted about Bruce Brown was complaining for time, saying I want to play him more. And I said, so Nash said to him, so, all right, you're not gonna give me 15 to 20 points. You're not gonna give me that consistently. So what I want you to do, right, is to work on your defense, work on your defensive game. And that's how he forced himself, because within the pecking order, Cam Thomas was there. It's like this other guy named, I think Edward was there, but he said to Brown, work on, I have offensive weapons. I have weapons. I have KD and I have Kyrie. And this guy has work on his defense. His defense is what is allowing him to be in the starting lineup that much. And he's work on his defense. So he's going to be a critical factor in trying. You remember I said trying to slow down Tatum especially. Get what I'm saying? So I'm looking at that. And then there's a podcast when we were talking about defensive players, right? And there were some stats. There's some factors. Put aside the steals, put aside the blocks and the rebounds. There's some that put into these defensive measures now to analyze the best defensive player. There's one stat now like how much you guard the perimeter has taken a lot more significant input in terms of being a defensive player, compared to the blocks and the steals. And there's another one where they say how much certain players like close down the lane to prevent a guy from coming in. You see, Robert Williams, he was leading in those stats. That Williams guy, he was leading, like he stopped a lot of big players and small players from getting into the rim to make some easy plays. So with him being out, we're looking at that as a crucial factor in terms of trying to score more on them, because guess what, we definitely have to outscore them. We can defend better than them, so we have to outscore them and try to slow them down. So that's why I have them winning in 7. The first game tomorrow, we're gonna snatch that first game, and then we'll probably get comfortable and then come back at Brooklyn and go up 3-1 or go up, I don't know, but I don't see it 4-3. I don't know how it will go. I don't see it ending 4-3, and I think we're gonna win that first game tomorrow. 4-3 for Nets.
4-3 for Nets. So you see them winning the first game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Damn. All I know is when Kyrie going Boston to play, I don't see no 12 for 12. I don't see no 9 for 9. I don't see no 5 for 5. I see absolute struggling with the crowd booing him. I see KD being doubled and have to give up the basketball.
Right.
I see a rejuvenated Al Horford out there making those big defensive plays, those being key on offense when I look at it. And a lot of persons was wondering if Brooklyn would lose, to avoid Boston and go to Miami, but then it's 6-1 half dozen of the other. Either one is a lose-lose situation. So I guess they wanted to take the chance with Boston. I guess Kyrie would love a revenge if he could knock out Boston. I don't see that happening. I'm looking at Boston. Every time they play against Jason Tatum, doesn't matter who guard him, KD, Blake Griffin, whoever I want to put on him is barbecue chicken all around. Jaylen Brown getting his stuff. Obviously, Robert Williams would be a big miss, but I just believe that Boston has too much firepower right now. And I think this first-year head coach, I think he could have decided, hey, I want to duck away from Boston. I want to duck away from the Nets. Because they could have lost that game against Memphis, but they started every single starter. And then they blow up Memphis by almost 29 points or something like that. So they are really confident, ready to go. And I'm going Boston in 6. I'm going Boston to win tomorrow. And Boston in 6. Because I need the Nets to go home, the Lakers home, the Clippers home, and the Nets to join them. Once all those teams home, I can watch the NBA in peace.
I heard
the Nets to go home.
But when they've been saying... Yeah. When they've been talking about Bruce is 6'4". Bruce not defending no Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum going to look for that man to switch onto him and shoot over him every single time. Yeah, and the Nets have too much players that the Celtics can pick on. You're going to put in Patty Mills, and then they'll get the switch on to Patty Mills. They put on Curry, they get the switch on to Curry.
Cook him up too. Yes, I saw that in that
They
one
even
game,
want to switch on to Kyrie because Kyrie can't defend these bigger players. So there's too much holes where who is Kyrie going to switch on to get an advantage? He can't switch on Marcus Smart. He can't switch on Jaylen Brown. He can't switch on Derek White. Not even Al Horford because he might can beat Horford, but Horford can recover well. So it's going to be very hard. KD going to have to play and be averaging 40 points a game, and you can't expect KD to take that offensive load and be that primary defender on a Tatum or Jaylen Brown. That's going to be too much.
But
I'm happy you make that point, VJ, because you making that point makes me is leading me to address Chris Lynch in the comment section. Chris Lynch, every comment that you have made since coming on was excellent, except when you go mention that Ben Simmons, brother. Don't mention Ben Simmons, because Ben Simmons return. They're saying, I've been hearing Ben Simmons to come back for how long. It was all kind of reasons. I don't want to get into it. But right now, as it stands, they're saying they expect Ben Simmons to come to Game 4. Game 4, VJ, Cream, and Kemps. Game 4, we could be done and dusted. You tell me Ben Simmons coming back Game 4. In such a critical series, Ben Simmons coming back Game 4 would be good if we were playing Hawks. It would be good if we were playing Atlanta Hawks. Ben Simmons coming back Game 4.
Can't expect
Ben Simmons coming back Game 4 to provide. You see all that what VJ said? Or solution would have all that what VJ said. My answer would have been Ben Simmons to what VJ just said. And him coming back Game 4, not helping me, sir.
Well, I think we shouldn't be in a hole in coming to the Game 4. I don't think so. But we saw these teams play most recently the last game in the regular season, VJ, and it was a close game, nip and tuck. Kyrie particularly didn't have a good game, didn't shoot well with all those defensive matchups and liability that you are outlining now. So I don't think it's gonna be much difference now in the postseason, the playoffs game. I think it's still gonna be close games. And I am backing KD and Kyrie in a close game down the stretch to close out.
Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, man. So Chris Lynch come with them good comment there again. Good comment, that excellent. Now come with the Ben Simmons boss, please.
All right. So let's move on to the other game. It is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks versus the red hot DeMar DeRozan Chicago Bulls.
Oh boy.
Let's go Bulls. Let me start with you, David.
Check out the broom, man. Get the broom, man. Get the broom. We've been talking about this, Kems, especially you've been saying it. You've been saying it from early on when everybody was talking about DeMar. You said, all right, show me the team that I'm beat. Remember, this is not just down to people in watching the viewers. This is not just we say, and we look at it, show me the team, just like we were talking about Harden when he was kind of struggling. But then when he meets up on some big teams, he goes off. Same thing with DeMar. DeMar was going great numbers, and everybody's saying it now. But we've been seeing this a long time. Once he come, if you look at the record against the top team, not even some of them is just sweep. Not even like a one game. Not even a one game. But send him against send him down to Florida against Orlando. Yes, man. Stats, man. You know, so like seriously now, looking at Bucks, they have the three, let's say stars, if you want to put all of them combined, because some may say Holiday may not be a superstar. Well, they definitely have a superstar. They're definitely a superstar, in the honest. These guys want to prove that they can repeat. That's how I see it. They want to prove that they can repeat. They're not going to take anybody for light. I think each, not only that they will be swept, the first 4 games, I think, will be decided by a double-digit margin for Bucks. That's how I see them going to be just dominating. This is going to dominate them. Lanza not there. I mean, I don't know how much difference it has made. I don't know if Caruso is back. I don't know how much difference it will make.
He's back. Only Lanza is not there.
They get some numbers, but it's too much for that team. It's too much for that team. It's outmatched. Totally outmatched. I don't see them winning a game.
What I'll say, so you have 4-0, okay, 4-0 and double digits. What I'll say quickly before I go to you, Cream, before I go to you, listen. one thing I love Giannis interviews when they ask him about MVP, the scoring title, all of that stuff. The man said, listen, and I'm paraphrasing. The man said, all I want to do, I just want to be better. I just want to play basketball better, help my teammates, and win championships. The man said, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. In this little series, some Milwaukee and Chicago played 3 times this season, and the Bulls won 0. You have 127 to 106, so that's a 21-point beat. You have 126 to 98, that's about 28-point beating.
Preach, my brother, preach.
38-point beating. And then you have one little close game. I didn't think Giannis played this one. It was 118 to 112 where the Bucks won again. So listen, when you look at that, it's a total mismatch. Lavine, none of them can stop Giannis. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and all those boys. So, and Brook Lopez is back now. They got Serge Ibaka, they got Bobby Portis. So hey, I just think it's going to be a sweep. Cream, what do you think?
You made some very riveting points right there. I'm just gonna feel sorry for the Bulls and give them 1. So Milwaukee in the 5.
Where you find 1? Where you find 1 to give them? Which game?
Them first home game back in Chicago. I'll give them that one.
Okay.
But pretty much, I co-sign all the points you just made. It's hard to really find anything to substantiate a Chicago win. So it's just out of pity. I'm gonna pick them and give them 1. So Milwaukee in 5.
Milwaukee in 5. And here is Vincent saying, when Kems dislike a side or player, my God, man, him kill them left, right, and center. It's not the Rosen fault. He is not in LA, bro. Ease up now. It is your go-to made that decision. LeBron didn't make that decision. It was actually the Lakers organization. They don't want to give him.
Palinka.
I don't know how Pelinka still have a job, but to only focusing on teams that is in the playoffs.
Yes.
That has always been my mantra every year.
Yes.
If you're not in the playoffs, I don't want to hear about you. Next season, we can talk about you.
Yes.
So now, VJ, who you got?
If the Bucks could have win in 3, they would have win in 3 games. Let's just keep it at that.
All right, so I'm guessing you have the Bucks in a sweep.
I was hoping that's who my team would have matched up with, but that last game, it didn't matter who, if they won or lost, they would have either matched up with the Raptors or the Nets. So
no, if they had lost and Milwaukee had lost, wouldn't Milwaukee play Brooklyn and they would play the Bulls?
Milwaukee would have stayed in 3rd. Philly, I think, would have jumped to 2nd.
Philly would have won.
Philly would have jumped to 2nd.
Yeah,
and that's the matchup I wanted to see.
That's what I wanted to see as well.
but then Boston would have to go to Toronto, and that is already 2 L's in Toronto for sure, because they wouldn't have the best players. No Tatum, no Brown, and I don't know if Smart is vaccinated, but it will work out well. It worked out well because Kyrie back in Boston with that ferocious crowd.
Yeah. He was there last year. He was there last year with that ferocious crowd.
Was he?
Yes, we beat Boston last year.
They beat Boston with nobody. We had Jaylen Brown out. We didn't have Al Horford.
Oh yeah.
And he's stamping lucky man. And he's stamping lucky man. All that lucky.
Don't worry. Yeah. Oh, and I think it was Big Baby who made that comment. I said something they have Big Baby. All right, go ahead. BJ.
Oh no, I was going to say I heard somebody mention that it's going to be Celtics revenge tour because they beat Brooklyn, then they face the Bucks, who would beat them with Kyrie, and then possibly face the Heat, who would beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen, but they're saying, it can be the Celtics revenge tour.
It can be. It can be. All right, so the last one is going to be the Phoenix Suns versus New Orleans Pelicans. Cream.
Yes.
Who do you have winning game 1 and who do you have winning the series?
Suns winning game 1, and I am Mr. Generous, so I'm gonna give the Pelicans one game again. Brand BI and CJ is gonna win the first one on their home turf. So it's gonna be a quick series, 4-1 Phoenix Suns moving on.
All right. VJ, who you got?
The Suns, Zion not coming back, right?
No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, even if he was coming back, I still think the Suns, and as I'd agree about a 4-1, even a sweep, because just the inexperience of that team. If it's a tight game, they're certainly going to lose. They're not going to win that game. So the only way they can win a game is if they're blowing out the Suns, which I don't say that's happening either. So I would put it at, I'll be generous. I think it's going to be a sweep, but I'll just give them one game.
All right. Devin, I already see
The
you
broom,
have your
the
broom.
broom, brother, the broom. Like there's a matchups that are important, right? But look, Clippers without PG, it's like Clippers had a chance, even though they had a good coach. And Suns with the squad that they have, brother, is just totally outmatched in every category. They're totally outmatched. You know what I mean?
Obviously.
CJ and Ingram have to go shoot lights out. And you see with CJ sometimes, big games. See what happened last night? Ingram had to bring the team. They're totally outmatched. Totally outmatched in every area. Inside, from defense, everything. Totally outmatched.
Listen, I think Monty Williams is my coach of the year. I have him as my coach of the year. This reminds me of the time when Real had made that shot and Miami won the finals, and then the Spurs came back with blood in their eye. Nothing was going to stop them from winning that championship, and they came. And I think it's going to be the same thing for Suns. Listen, I think this is CP3's last chance. I think this is CP3's last chance to win a championship, and it would be awful for him not to win a championship. The man has been such a great icon of the game. For him to be in the Charles Barkley and all those players who never yet won, the Reggie Millers of the world who never yet win a ring, you don't want CP3 in that category. At least one. Give him at least one. Remember, Jordan Farmer have a ring, Quinn Cook have a ring, all those players have a ring. I think CP3 deserves one, even though I don't want Cameron Payne getting a ring because that man is way too hype. But hey, I need CP3 to get this ring. Hopefully Booker can stay healthy, no nose issue this time. I think that kind of threw him off along with that. Giannis was just, unstoppable.
And the Kardashian curse on him.
Oh gosh. but just like how I highlighted about the Bucks and the Bulls, listen, the Suns and the Pelicans played 4 times this season. The Pelicans won 0 games. And the scores are 112 to 100, that's 12 points. 123 to 110, that's 13 points. 117 to 102, that's 15 points.
15.
And then 131 to 115, that's 16 points. So it's double digits with the least being a 12-point lead. And you know it go. It was probably a 20-point lead, and then the garbage time, them start shoot and start make some. So I think the Suns are way better. Again, just like the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think the Pelicans are just happy to be there, get some more money. I'm really happy for Willie Green getting them into the playoffs. That is something that you can build on. I still don't think Zion wants to be there, but hey, so I'm going with a sweep for that one.
I would give the Pelicans a little bit of credit too, because they started out the season 3 of 16.
Yeah.
So
1 of 12. Yep.
1 of 12, 3 of 16 to go from that to in the playoffs. That's a major achievement. And they had a lot of, since CJ McCollum went to that team, it had completely transformed that team.
Absolutely.
To put them on a run. So if Zion willing to come back, they should be a good little squad next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And make some little changes. I think Jonas Valanciunas, I think he has been a revelation for them. That man be grabbing all the boards, big body inside. Obviously, he's not as agile and as athletic as a Zion, but he's definitely been there. As VJ say, I think this has been CJ's worst game as a Pelican, and I think it has been his only bad game, in the game against the Clippers. But luckily, Ingram came through and got them into the playoffs. So I'm going with a sweep for this one. The last question before we'll hang it up is there any? I know we never really. I was the only one who picked an upset.
Upset.
But if there was an upset that you could say, and I don't think Raptors Philly is an upset because that's a 4-5 seed. But if there was a 2-7, a 1-8, 3-6, where you say, this I believe this can be an upset. What will it be? And I don't think Brooklyn Boston is an upset neither.
No.
Obviously, So for me, obviously, I said it going to be the Denver versus the Warriors. I think that Denver going to shock the Warriors. And listen, I don't want Jokic to win MVP because I don't believe, I don't know how valuable you can be as a sixth seed. But hey, the man is leading the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks.
Without his two co-stars.
Of just 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists. The man is putting up phenomenal numbers. I don't see nobody who will be able to guard him consistently, but I think Will Barton needs to show up. Aaron Gordon needs to show up, and all these role players need to play.
Monte Morris
bigger than they actually are for them to win. But I believe if there is going to be an upset, that is my upset.
T-Wolves, Chris Lynn said T-Wolves to beat the Grizzlies. That would be a hell of an upset.
That would definitely be a hell of an upset. And I was over there on the show with Chris Lynch before I came over here, and I'm gonna have to race them up over there because they might talk about T-Wolves. Like, I don't know, T-Wolves another team from put my stock in and I said they will upset any team. I just think, as I said earlier, T-Wolves is just happy to be there. But anybody else have any other upset?
I mean, the only possible upset, and I said, you don't put the point that it won't happen, would be the Hawks. But if I have to pick an upset,
the only one I was thinking you rule it out, Kemps. I don't have any. And you say it wouldn't be upset. The Toronto over Philly. You say it wouldn't be upset. So I don't see anything.
Would Denver beating Golden State be deemed an upset? I guess it would, right?
Yes,
absolutely. I hear that Golden State will win it all. Some here.
Yeah.
No, because they have all players now. They have all players.
Yeah. So maybe that series maybe that series would be my upset.
Wiggins, Poole, everybody's there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Vincent Irvin is saying Kems. He's saying Kems. What am I saying? Kems, you will never live to see that. We will be here to talk about it. Absolutely. You thought that the number 2 seed was locked up for Golden State, and see, they almost dropped the 4th. So,
we're starting 5 All-Stars, when you really think about it. Although Wiggins should be an All-Star, but it's 5 All-Stars and starting.
Exactly. Super team.
All right, so with that being said, the game has started. Dallas versus Utah.
Yep.
NBA playoffs. Oh, VJ, before you guys go, so next week we have a debate. We have another debate between Anthony Davis and Tim Duncan. Who is the better player?
How kind of fool debate that?
So Zidane, who won the first debate, is putting his title on the line. He's saying that AD is a better basketball player than Tim Duncan. So judges, I'm going to need y'all again.
So who is he going to debate against?
Paul.
He's going out against this user named Paul. Within a little basketball group, this guy named Paul, they've been arguing back and forth about it.
I don't know who's Paul.
Yeah, they're arguing back and forth about it. So Zidane
no, but seriously, how you can debate that?
Zidane say he has the facts. He has everything ready to go.
He has the proof.
Oh Lord!
Did Paul come on as a judge anytime here? One time you did.
No. You don't know him, man.
No.
You never on the Mail podcast one at a time.
No, never yet show
up. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
With that being said, do we have anything else to add before we go? Anybody, any last words? I'll give you guys any last words you want to say about this basketball. listen, I think that the Philadelphia 76ers will win the East, but I think they'll lose in the finals to the Phoenix Suns. So, I mean, as the games go on, we will, we can alter because teams go and drop out and so.
Yeah.
But I believe that the Phoenix Suns will win the NBA title. I think they have been the best team in basketball. Hands down, I think they have been the most cohesive team. And, what can I say? I think they deserve, to win the championship.
I think Memphis coming out the West.
Oh, wow. For me, Golden State coming out the West.
For me, it's the same. I have Golden State coming out of the West. I did.
You said that, VJ?
Wait, who you think I had?
I don't know. I don't remember you saying. I know you're Boston. I never hear you say anything about Golden State and the West. I don't remember what you said about the West. Because once I see you, I just say Boston. I just.
But I think Golden State coming out of the West. I don't. The only team that I think had an outside, well, not a dark horse. My dark horse in the West, apart from the Memphis and the Suns and the Warriors, was Dallas. But with Luka injured now, it looks shaky. So
yeah.
But I can't go against. It's like when people saying the Nets, they have KD and Kyrie. The Warriors, it's their dynasty, quote unquote dynasty is back. Without they have back Clay, Curry. They have Poole, which would be like their replacement for Sean Livingston. They still have Draymond Green. They have a great defense, a great offense. I think they're gonna show again. I think they're very motivated. They've been out of the playoffs 2 years now. Want to show that they're back and they don't need KD. I have the Warriors coming out of the West.
So you have a Warriors Boston finals.
Originally I had the Boston coming out of the East, but it's going to be a hard road because if they beat the Nets, then they likely play in the Bucks, and then if they beat the Bucks, they're going to play the Heat.
Yeah,
that's a gauntlet right there, and I don't know if it's not the Heat, then it's Philly. So that's going to be rough. That's going to be a rough part.
Yeah, man.
So,
yeah, man. That's too much emotionally engaging games right there. So you must lose one of them series.
All of those might be going to 7 games, and you're playing a Bucks team fresh from a 3-game sweep of the Bulls, quote unquote 3-game sweep, and then coming out of the Nets, if they got 7 games, that's going to be a rough series for them to get past.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, definitely. Big up to the producer of the show. Big up to everybody in the comment section. Big up to all you guys that are here.
Yeah,
we'll be here again next week at 8 p.m. for that debate. AD versus Tim Duncan. Peace out.
All right, cool.
All right.